And welcome everyone to the Chris Connolly Mr. C Dives In channel. As you can see, for this night of Svengoolie, we have a rare appearance of Tombstone. But wait. Behind Tombstone is the true guest of honor. Oh, we got a signature on there too. That's pretty cool.
Hi. Oh, yeah.
Been looking forward to this conversation. Thank you for highlighting Tombstone from the jump. Thank you for agreeing to come on and have a Sven Richco's conversation with us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm a little nervous, but thank you.
All right. Well, let's, as a host, let's make our guests comfortable, or as a mini Sven community of whoever's viewing right now. Of course, we're looking to have some fun. So, backstory again, on the Fanboy Cantina channel, about a year and a half ago, we did a Svengoolie Richco's birthday tribute, which led to the slow wheels turning for me to get to know Dave, Terror Dave. And please do check out terrordaves.com, the blog, for many words and many pictures, as I like to call it. So Dave came on for the most recent Richco's birthday when one thing led to another. So we've been running a Svengoolie series. And now tonight, here's our guest of honor, Nanette, a true student of Sven, a true goon, if you will. We'll get into the goonship and the goonhood a little later on. But let's, so before we dive into the Nanette created art, let's check around in our comment section. And all right, here we go. First comment about, yes, it is the, all caps.
Nanette.
That's you.
I'm sure my mom will like that. So my dad.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Dad. Are you watching? We're looking to highlight your daughter here. And Michaela, thanks for jumping in again. Michaela, good evening and happy Svengoolie night to all the Sven pals everywhere from Store Goolie. All right, that's great. That's exactly what it's all about. Chai Star has another need to one day get. You know what? I don't want to shoot too high. If it so happens to be, that'd be great. But all things considered, we're doing pretty all right as is. Drew, oh my gosh, that photo looks familiar there. Drew, greetings right back to you, Drew.
We're not that far from where I'm at, Drew.
Our parts unknown, Okay. And here we go. Previous guest, Sarah, aka Sarah Gooley, from the bottom of the river.
Yep, he's also behind me.
Here, let me bring you larger so you can.
Yeah, I got Sarah there, and that artwork Sarah did.
Well, we're going to jump into many, many pieces of art as we go here. All right, and oh man,
is that Warner?
Unless it's an alter ego of Warner, unless it's an alternate Warner, it's Warner with a boomerang. Nanette is the bestest. No, oh well.
Okay, yeah, thank you.
See, there you go. You got to read all the comments for the context of the comics. Right back at you there. Okay, so we're caught up on comments. That's always a good place to start. So let me pull the last Sarah comment, and then let me come back over here, and let's start with your Powerpuff series. Nanette, tell us what was your inspiration, and how did you assemble this?
I've been trying to do some artwork more in an anime type style, and after I just kind of stumbled across Powerpuff Girls, and I kind of watched every now and then. But the more I thought about it, I thought this would be a cute way to show different characters. And I love the idea of creating a Sven Puff. And that's what he is. I've actually done a bunch of different characters now of Svengoolie, with Elvira, with, us, Sarah and Drew. And it's just been fun.
This is definitely fun. This is a great visual. Again, I'm no art school person, but I know when I see colors together that I like together. The add in of the chickens, that they're reaching the chickens towards each other, the proportions exactly for for Powerpuff, and the I mean, even down to the Jerry G. Bishop T-shirt, you miniaturized and captured his own likeness on his own T-shirt. So I'm already out of the gate, and this is pretty good, pretty fun.
Thank you.
Next up, go right ahead, please.
Oh, well, that's Sven with Doug Graves and Anita Exorcist.
Man, so they're definitely holding their musical section, their horn section. Sven's got the mic, and see again down to the right. It's a smaller image, but then you got the mic logo or the mic cover on it. So again, you're leaving no stone unturned as you create your stuff. Something outside of the reign of the Powerpuff tributes.
I started doing different ideas of cartoon mashups, like classic cartoons that we used to watch, which, obviously that's Foghorn Leghorn. And Kerwin is actually based on, the Chicken Hawk. I think it's Henry. I can't remember. Yeah. And then, Svengoolie in there in Tombstone. But I've been just doing a lot of cartoon mashups of cartoons I grew up with, like Super Chicken and Top Cat, and trying to incorporate and mash them up into a Svengoolie type character and a Kerwin type character.
And I will say, to my eyes, with great success. I got to say it's hard to pick a favorite amongst the classic characters, Bugs and Daffy and the whole Taz and the whole gang. But in this household, I say, Foghorn has some high esteem here, and just the hilarity of the Chicken Hawk, and what an opportunity to do a mashup between Kerwin and the Chicken Hawk, and you even got Svengoolie in there. Dare I say, Foghorn never looked so good wearing a Sven. Now, I'm going to play off of Sarah's material. Sarah says it's not cosplay, it's a lifestyle. So would this Foghorn Leghorn say that this is his lifestyle and not a costume?
I would think so. I believe he would say it's a lifestyle.
Perfect. All right, now Simpson style. What do you?
It started as the gentleman who, and his name escapes me, the person who Tombstone is based off of, and Saluga. I don't know if that's his name.
Billy Saluga.
Thank you. It started as that drawing, and then it kind of morphed into Svengoolie being surrounded by rubber chickens.
You can call me Ray, or you can call me. And again, that bit is well referenced on the Gilbert Gottfried Amazing Colossal podcast, on which Rich Co's Svengoolie was a guest. Obviously, that's an older reference now, but they definitely cover the territory of the inspiration for Tombstone on that show. And we're getting a lot of Tombstone tonight, and that's a beautiful thing. So, all right, what are we looking over here?
This is Dondi, and at the time it was Dondi and the dog, Frenchie, I think it was the dog's name. But I did a sketch, it was actually on lined paper, and I turned that into Svengoolie about a year or so ago. I posted it, and then Rich had commented that he used to draw Dondi for his friends. And I gave him a printout of that when he was at the Thunderbolts game. And he had also said that story again. And I said, I hope you would have kept some. And he said, no, I gave them to my friends. And I'm like, well, you should draw them again. And he's like, I don't know. I'm like, you should. Give it a try. If Sarah inspired me to draw, you can do it.
Good to give Sarah credit for her influences.
And that, of course,
a couple more of these, and then we'll switch up a little bit. But so we got here a Super Chicken theme, and what do we have Kerwin saying? The job was dangerous when you took it, sir.
Yeah. I have to say I like that one the best for some reason. Just because I liked Super Chicken.
Maybe speculating because the Super Chicken comic sensibility is right there in vein with, along with, consistent with Sven and
Kerwin.
talking about other cartoon legends here.
Oh yeah,
Marky
forgot
and
about
Bullwinkle.
that. I got my Bullwinkle Sven and him pulling Kerwin out of the hat, as opposed to Rocky.
Nothing up my sleeve, but for a prehistoric
Oh, and that was actually, I think that was the first cartoon mashup I did of Pikachu and Ash. I thought, Pikachu looks like Kerwin, so why not run with that? And then just made Ash look like Sven, and of course I got Tombstone on top of the hat.
and a great representation of everything, including Tombstone again. Let's jump back to comments, and then we'll do some. Oh boy, we got. I'm glad to see. Okay, I'll go in last. Okay,
Svengoolie.
Svengoolie, clever.
That's better. Oh,
Chris?
hi, Chris.
We're glad to have you along, Chris. We very much appreciate your social media creating awareness of Sven and of our ongoing series here. Oh, Crafter. All right. Now, Crafter, let me tell you, so Nanette's clearly the guest of honor, Crafter, but you just, within the last couple hours, dropped an episode on your channel where you put together a custom Phantom figure. I'll be for sure to watch the rest of that after we're done here. And Fanboy, always appreciating to have you along. Let's coming back to Chai-Star, a man of art himself. What app or apps do you use for your digital art?
I first start with just traditional pencil paper, but then I will take a photo of it or scan it in. The Powerpuff ones are done with Adobe Illustrator. I usually just use a mouse with that, and with the cartoon ones, those are done in Adobe Fresco.
See, there you go. The process behind the art, and that's what. There's many reasons we keep Chai-Star G around. If anyone else has any other technical questions or design questions, please feel free to drop those in the comments as I continue to work through the other comments. Okay. Then coming back to Drew. The mashups. Again, it's a great piece of comedy. It's a great thing to have. And oh boy, we're getting a wealth of comments, but let me not leave out.
Hi, Dave. Thank you. You know, when Dave said that you wanted to talk to me, I'm like, why would he want to talk to me? I'm like, okay. I thought it was boring.
Well, at 12 coming on 13 minutes here, I'm quite the opposite of bored, and we got a good number of viewers live, so we're pretty good, I'll say. And again, if Fanboy has Dave's not here, but Dave's in the comments here. So all right, let me come back around to Chris. Speaking of the Sven Simpson, there's an old Simpsons book that Chris had with the character of Sven Simpson, yet it was Homer with more hair.
Right.
That's an interesting cross visual of Homer and Sven. Michaela has to say, I also do my artwork. See, there we go. Adobe, see, that beautiful thing. And you are, let's take a minute to step into Campbell's Corner. All right, Jim, well, perfect, Jim. This is one of the questions I had on deck, but we'll take it via Jim Campbell. When did you first see Svengoolie on TV? What did you think?
Well, when I first started watching Svengoolie, I always like to joke I was in high school, which was last year, but it was actually 1980. I was a senior in high school, and I started watching then. And one of my favorite parodies, and I still say it, is 588, use your phone book.
588,
use your phone book.
See, and it stuck with you across all the years.
Oh yeah, it did. I watched him like almost every Saturday night, because back then I didn't have a life, still don't. But I did, I always loved having someone who showed classic horror movies, and it just felt like coming home. And every time I watch him, Vampire Carpets. And every time I watch him, every time I watch him now that he's national, it's like getting a hug from my childhood. If you can say being 18 was still a child.
Ooh, I like that way of concept. That's a very artistic, creative way to conceptualize it, a hug from the childhood. The way Fanboy G and me often say it is we're continuing the same conversation from the grade school playground. So it's nice to have different concepts to express those things.
And I did.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I did appreciate years ago. He encouraged. Well, I don't know if he encouraged. I can't remember. He would say people's birthdays on air. Now, years ago, now you can't do it because that would be the whole show. But I wrote in and he said happy birthday to my friend Barb and myself, and it was just so thrilling. And somewhere I have the audio for it, but I can't find it, of course.
How did you record that audio?
With a cassette tape.
See, there it is. So there was a subgroup of us putting cassette tape recorders up to the
little
TV.
Thing that you push 2 buttons and
record and play. If
Mm-hmm.
you hit the one and not the other, it wasn't gonna.
It wouldn't do it.
So, all right, let me again just jump a little bit more. So Drew was just saying with the don't put it out, let the YouTube chat burn. Perfect.
Is it fire?
With the pun on richly and rich, or even as horror movies, Sven is wholesome and richly nostalgic. And hey, if you can't take the simple pleasures of life and you can't have a little piece of nostalgia, then I don't know what. Had you caught any of the Jerry G. Bishop stuff when it was on, or was Rich Coe's your first point of entry into the Svenverse?
Son of Svengoolie Rich was the first step into that. We did not move here until 1976, so that was, Jerry was off by the time I got here.
Okay.
But, yes. I wish I would have seen that because I probably would have fallen in love with that too. So,
no doubt.
Jerry.
And in other contexts, that's dangerous or potentially dangerous. But coming from Sarah, we'll take it as a positive energy connection right here. Okay, so Rich was your first Svengoolie.
Mm-hmm.
You were watching around that time in the 80s, and still, what a common thing it was for that time to have different local TV shows where you could get a recognition on your birthday. Were there, besides, and you've already answered that, to the Vampire Carpets, in addition to Vampire Carpets, were there any of the parody songs that stand out for you?
Years ago, I believe before he went national and started the what's the term I'm using? The types of songs that are like
Public domain?
Yeah, public domain. Thank you. He had one on, and it was based off of, and boy, I'm screwing up the person's name because I cannot remember it, but it was not Shut Up and Drive, it was Shut Up and Dive, and that was during, I believe, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Rihanna, I believe.
Sounds right.
In fact, I probably have that on DVD because I have on occasion burned a bunch of those older ones, but I've always loved that one. How long have I been going to Sven's public appearances?
Drew's asking.
A long time.
A good long time.
Yeah, I wish I could have done it when I was in high school, but at that time, there wasn't social media that you would know immediately when someone was going to be somewhere. You would have to, get an alert. I don't know, newspaper or something like that. But
and of that era. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, well, now with social media, you can find out very quickly when someone's going to be somewhere. And like, I'm looking forward to going to Flashback Weekend, and I'm going to be seeing Drew again and Sarah, and I can hardly wait to do that.
Yeah, Flashback, a good time to be had. And it's referencing conventions, so Flashback started, now Flashback has some legs under it, but coming to the 70s and 80s, the science fiction conventions, the Star Trek convention, the comic convention, they were all on a smaller scale than what they became. So yeah, the catching somebody in appearance, there's a far greater opportunity for it now. It's far more frequent now than what it used to be. Sarah's dropping Chicagoons. We're going to get to defining Chicagoons, but let me also come to Dave.
Revenge of the
historian that
Creature. I knew it was, oh boy, my hair. I knew it was something like that. I could not remember.
All right, so that catches us up on comments for now. I'm appreciating the wealth and the volume of the comments. Let me come over here, and where were we? So okay, one more piece of art, and then we'll look at some people. So this was not yours, but in the corner there we got a little SR22. So what are we looking at
That's
here?
all Sarah, and that's her illustration of me holding Dave's Wentis's Sveni at during Uncrypted.
You look cartoony yet demonic all at the same time. Credit to Sarah for putting that together.
I wish my hair was purple.
All right, so this is an actual uncrypted shot?
Yes, it is. And I actually have, I made him one of those, which we'll get to later, but I actually have Kerwin here. But as you can see, he was playing with him.
Here, let's let Kerwin be seen. Oh my gosh.
He's kind of scary.
Oh, we're getting a wealth of 3D material tonight here between starting out with Tombstone and going to Kerwin. As long as we're showing items from the physical world here, over your shoulder, is there a snow Sven kind of a creature that we're supposed to be sure we don't forget?
That's my friend Tanny crocheted a Sventa snowman, and she gave this to me for Christmas a couple of years ago. She even has a little rubber chicken here. Well, he's not rubber, he's yarn.
Well, a crocheted rubber chicken, absolutely.
A crocheted rubber chicken. I keep them out all year round.
The different expressions, the different compilations of the creativity, it's an overflow, and it's a real good thing as far as I'm concerned. Comments again. Hey, keep the comments coming in. It's okay, fanboy.
Yeah, he will.
Stay away from him. He'll rip your lungs out, Tim. I'd like to meet his tailor, and also look out for Kerwin. We got a fanboy dropping now. And then I keep coming last to Dave. Okay. Oh, and to fanboy. So yeah, looking forward to fanboy flashback. FB could stand for fanboy, but in this case, FB stands for flashback. Absolutely. And here's Fanboy G telling us flashback weekend, August 4 to 6, coming up on the horizon, as is the Godzilla Fest, the G Fest, coming up in mid-July. All right, so here we go. Oh, please. Hey, let me get myself out of the way. Let's do some real world materials here. Tell us, what are we looking at?
This is a a marionette puppet, and I cannot remember the gentleman who carved him, but this was an online Twitter contest by the Reverend Super Clown, I believe, and he made it sound like he was only going to have one, but he actually had two carved, and Christopher Hamby has the other one.
Oh my gosh.
I think his name is Darian. Oh, he goes by Geppetto something, and I am so sorry that I cannot remember. But he's actually done different ones. He's done Kiss. He's done Bootsy Collins from Parliament. But this guy, I just love him.
All right, Warner is saying so many talented Sven fans, and again, great to be part of a great community and some Sven synchronicity. And here's Sarah saying,
there you go. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sarah. That's always good. And the Mandarin, welcome, Mandarin. Tonight we're not eating hot dogs, but it's great to have you along for whenever you jump in. Mandarin, good to see you. Always, always, always. All right, back.
Our doorbell rang, and should I go look at and see who it is real quick?
Go right ahead. In the meanwhile, let me just switch our spots, and we're going to work off the fly here a little bit. You know, maybe it's a replication of when the doorbell rings for Sven during the show itself, but let's see again. So we were starting to look at the uncrypted picture, and clearly there's a wealth of items there. And when Nanette returns, which
I'm back. Sorry.
she's back already. That was not so.
I'm sorry. I accidentally locked my husband out. Sorry.
Accidental.
No, accidentally. Honestly, I accidentally. Sorry.
That's all right. All right, so then back to the shot from Uncrypted. Any other items in the back to highlight, or some of these things are from Warner's collection, or
a lot of the stuff. That photo, I believe I sent that to you. Dave and Warner are really the true archivists. I feel like I'm more of a trip to the MeTV store after a while, but I love that photo. And what was funny is when I was taking, whoever was taking the photo, I cannot remember. It could have been Dave. That's one of those looks that my mom says I'm smirking. But afterwards, Rich had said, I made a face for that. So I'm like, well, at least you made a face. According to my mom, I'm making a face. So, oh, well. That's what I get.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so we're after that we have still Uncrypted. Now, clearly, just last week we saw the statue in the back is Warner's replication of Jerry G. Bishop, and
Warner took that
what's
photo.
what's in the photo? What's behind you over there?
A lot of the stuff on the ground, I believe, is Dave Fuentes' shadow boxes down there. A lot of that stuff that's way in the background came from Coffin of Curiosities. I don't know where they got all that cool stuff. But the table that Jim and Rich are standing in front of, that's all Warner stuff there. But that's a combination of Warner and Dave's items.
The chocolate and the peanut butter, the mixing of the collections, the Warner and Dave and Warner. Let's do a couple more photos, and then we'll jump back into comments. And again, so great.
Obviously, that's during Berwyn.
This we saw a couple weeks ago.
That's Sarah.
It's still shot almost back to back with Svengoolie, Svengoolie Day in Serenity Park in Berwyn. So clearly you were there. Did you have a highlight or a top moment from being there, or what would you say about Svengoolie Day?
I loved it, and I wish we all sang Bye Bye Berwyn, and Doug was there and played the piano, and it would have been nice if they could have used that, but I guess they didn't, or I don't know where it is, but that, I wish that could have been used, because that was so much fun.
Well, let's hope for some DVD extras or a streaming or lost tapes, if you will, something else to come up. So let's look at a little bit more. So there's Rich and Doug at the podium with the key to the city. So was there a throwing of rubber chickens at this time, or was Rich pelting the audience with rubber chickens?
No, I don't think there was no throwing of rubber chickens at that point. But and that's Brian Bernardoni.
All right. And does he have one of those authentic skeleton pins on? Wow, those are
yes, he
few
does.
and far between.
Those are cool.
All right, let me come out of this. I think this is the most comments we've ever had for any show, which is pretty cool by me. Let's see. All right. So Mandarin says he's going to catch up with us later. Mandarin, always good to have you around. Okay. Nice green over in the back, Mr. C. Thank you. Again, we've just on your channel recently, you posted the NECA releases, and the glow-in-the-dark Creature of the Black Lagoon is just released by NECA, so always good to have some glow-in-the-dark. Ask not for well played. Well played on the fly. All right.
I'll have my own hand at the door.
Yes. life imitates art, art imitates life, and the doorbell for whom the doorbell rings. All right. Thanks, Mandarin. Just again showing a little gray and a little age right there. All right. Okay. Chris says, speaking of, okay, both. Oh, so Chris confirming that you each had won. You're creepy.
I'm not the Svengoolie archivist. I'm the creepy curator.
Man,
see now, smirking paid for that particular part, I guess.
Jeepers creepers. And then Chris remembers, and still okay. Fanboy said on the photo earlier while it was up, great photo. Yes, we are having audio issues. I wish I was a smarter person to resolve it. Mandarin says he can't hear us, so and then Fanboy said audio is okay. So
okay.
I'm glad that resolved itself. Very good. So Chris remembers Darren. Sven Marionette's contest, awesome, neat, and cool. Cheers. Okay.
Only heard rubber chickens.
Okay, keep catching up. Okay. Robot sounding echo. It's a cool echo. Warner comes into Svengooligans. All finally found us. We're doing this. So hey, it's great. It's great to. Hey, for hosting a party via different streams. So, okay, maybe this is a good opportunity. So there's Svengoons. Is that the same thing, interchangeable with Svengooligans, or are they two separate groups? Or walk us through the terminology a little bit.
Oh, I don't know. The Svengooligans, I believe, is Warner's on Facebook, but I could be wrong.
Very good.
I'm usually wrong.
All right. Fanboys, going for one of our staple questions. Do you have a favorite movie amongst the movies that Sven has shown?
I always have to say the classic Dracula with Bela Lugosi, just because I remember when I was younger, every time it came on, it was a treat. It wasn't always shown. And when he shows it, to me, it's just a wonderful treat. Best band you've never heard. I can play the radio.
Okay, yeah, that would be great if there is a bonus footage. Iconic. And so I like to think of it this way, as Dracula was clearly the first of the Universal, and you could argue that the Nosferatu is a variant of Dracula, and that came out chronologically. Well, let me speak of during the talking pictures. Let me not erase from history the significant contribution of Lon Chaney Sr. prior, when there were silent pictures, for the Phantom and for the Hunchback. So that being acknowledged, but in many ways, Dracula being the first one with sound is kind of the Superman of the horror movies, because Superman was chronologically the first of the superheroes. Right. Definitely pulp heroes and other heroes, and Tarzan and the Phantom and all those preceded Superman, but I just keep that little connection in my head. Dracula equals Superman, and what a great character to start with. I definitely am also an appreciator of Bela's work as Dracula. Been great if he had been able to do more, but hey, we can't rewrite history. We'll take what we can get.
Right.
Okay, so. Where were we? We covered this. We covered this. Okay, so here.
That's that flashback weekend, and the pandemic was still kind of going on, but that's why I'm wearing a mask. And I actually I made another type of mask from one of our old one of my shirts that was falling apart. I made it was during the pandemic.
So deep into Sven appreciation that even a pandemic mask could get generated.
Yep. Oh, that's from C2E2, and Jim Roach took that picture. And what makes me laugh is when I was telling Rich the story about that I had uploaded a bunch of photos on the Facebook, and I had a bunch of family photos in there too. And then there's one photo of just Rich, and my aunt calls my mom the next day and asks if the guy in the makeup is a relative that she should know.
So she wasn't certain. There was possibility that the makeup had obscured a facial feature she might have recognized.
Right. Is it somebody that I know? Is it not somebody I know? That made me laugh. And it made him laugh too.
Very good, very good. And then jumping around bit back. So this is the zombie defense sign in the back, which is the Elgin-related nightmare on Chicago Street. But now we have a
that hat. Yes, that hat. I have it here.
Out of the way.
But this hat was the one that they used and encrypted when everybody was leaving. The hat was still sitting there, and I asked the producer, "Don't you need this?" And he said, "No, it's yours now." So I'm like, "Okay, thank you."
Well, when you're in the right place at the right time, good things happen, right? So that's
yes.
That's great that you were. All right, looking next. So here we go. There's you, there's Jim, there's Sarah. Everybody's masked. Who's the fourth person in the?
That's Drew.
In the picture?
That's Drew.
Oh, of course it's Drew. I didn't recognize Drew without the Svengoolie, sir. Drew, my apologies for not recognizing you just that way.
And that's I gave a pop-up Kerwin to Svengoolie, God, years ago when he was Svengoolie, and that was at the Comic Collector in Riverside. And it's actually still in the alcove. I've been told by Chris, the director, on his show that it's falling apart. It's probably held by duct tape now. Because duct tape holds the entire world together.
As needed, when necessary. All right, we'll go back to comments in a minute. Here's another. This is a picture that's not held together by duct tape, but a picture that's got some years to it. We can see the older logo of the WCIU van, Channel 26, in the background. So about what point, and we can see a red turtleneck. So as we've said in previous episodes, the turtleneck is reminiscent or was utilized during a certain era. So tell us, what event was this, and how did you get to take Rich's picture?
I believe is at Blues Fest downtown years ago. I think my parents were going to see Phantom of the Opera, and we went to Blues Fest, and I saw that, Svengoolie's here. So I went and took a picture, got a postcard signed, and I was just surprised that it just makes me laugh that it actually has the WCIU van in the background.
All right, and
that's a second Kerwin that my husband and I made, and we gave it to him at that was at Flashback. As you can see, he's a little terrified of it. But if you watch the show now, that's in the upper part of the alcove, I believe.
And we're definitely going to get to the alcove in just a minute. And then here's the unencrypted posters.
Yep, we were on their social media with all three of our unencrypted posters.
All right. Well, I'm challenged to keep up with the comments, but here, I'm sorry. Let me actually pull the picture back out of the way first, and then let's jump into comments and catch up. Where did we leave off? I think we got okay. So Sarah, perfect question. As we noted, going down the photo gallery, you have a good inventory of Sven.
I have the tuck shirt on because at one point Sarah could not wear hers during the filming of Uncrypted. So in honor of her, I wore my tuck shirt with my part in Uncrypted at Cabinet of Curiosities. Because I knew she couldn't wear hers, I figured I'm going to wear mine in honor of Sarah.
It's good to have a depth chart of Sven style tees, and it's good to honor Sarah as well, no doubt. Chris has a sidebar for us. He had a typo. Hey, we all make typos. I'm a big proprietor of typos. Sidebar number 2. Okay. Whatever we had on the screen at that minute. Okay, amazing creativity. Oh, Sarah with the old "you got it."
That's an old commercial.
All right. Okay, so we're now again current on comments, and I like the challenges of staying current on the comments. So let me again pull this one back and come back into the photos, and let me get my bearings here. So, all right, here's you and
Sarah,
not cosplayer, but the lifestyle exhibitor.
Yes,
pretty sure it's the city of Berwyn right there. So was this also
they allowed us to use the restroom, and then when we walked in, everybody wanted their picture taken with Sarah.
Oh, everybody inside wanted their pictures with Sarah.
Yep.
Perfect.
And somebody followed us.
Do they have vending machines in the hallway? I haven't been inside. Are there creature comforts, or is it more just a place of business?
It's a place of business. It's a place of business. And somebody followed us all the way back to where we parked, thinking that Sarah was Svengoolie.
Once again, fooled by the ghoulie. All right, so this was kind of a big deal.
Yes, it is. I love this. When he was going to be in the Dick Tracy comics, I actually collected every single one. I have the old other ones that were in the newspaper. This one was a colored one from a Sunday. And when I went to that was C2E2 to get it signed by Rich, he said, "Do you know Joe Statton's here?" I'm like, "No, I have no idea." So I went and got it signed by Joe too. So that was thrilling to actually have them both sign it.
I like how within the comic strip it says CosUCon, the cosplay convention, right up in the back.
Mm-hmm. And that's all Sarah's artwork. That's us Chicagoons. Sarah Ghoulie, Drew, and myself. I'm in the bottom holding my pop-up curtain.
Man, again, the culmination of the different art styles, the different ideas, the different concepts. It's one hit after the next. It's one great thing to appreciate after the next. So now if we can take a journey, zeroed in on the alcove here. Again, as I have more questions about the sidekicks than can be fit into a interview or a conversation. Similarly, I have more questions about the alcove than I just got a lot of questions about it. But so in this upper deck here.
That's old. Sarah, when she was there, she took a picture of the alcove, and I'm forever grateful because I love that all of that artwork has been done by so many different Svengoolie fans.
So it's looking like another crochet Sven back in there. It's looking like a Hello Kitty Sven. Again, we're mashing up Sven and Powerpuff. We're mashing up Sven and Hello Kitty. The recurring theme of the mashups is all pretty good. And so that's one of three. Now here's the middle bar of the alcove. We got
mine is that pop-up Kerwin that has kind of like a polyhedron. That's the one that's held together probably with duct tape at this point.
So
The rubber
yes,
band's
I didn't really know what was exactly in the alcove. I didn't know that the term Svengoons existed. I'm pretty sure I didn't know polyhedron as a vocabulary word. It was all kinds of great education for me. But that, I mean, wow, just all this stuff. Again,
it's all
museum and exhibit worthy.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. All of those are just a joy to look at. So much there. So cool.
All right, let's take another run at the comments. And again, I appreciate that our people who are viewing are putting up with their tolerating our audio technical difficulty. Again, I wish I was more of a technical person, that I was able to resolve the tech issue for the audio echo. That being said, let's plow on here. And so I think last we left off with Taylor calling out a Berwyn, Sarah to say creepy curator and lock the door. Sarah says that, but as you just related the story, they were following, so lock the doors, but then it's kind of a nice interplay there. But so you were being followed, but then it's the other people who are doing the following should, instead of following, be locking their doors. I like the way that comes together.
Yep.
You know what? Maybe the township, the municipality of Berwyn, they should have a store. Maybe they should build up more of a store on their own. You know, they could make some bank there.
Oh, my favorite
Custom Berwyn. And the spawn of Sven guest cameo. Very good. Mayor Svengoolie. I didn't realize that Svengoolie had the title of mayor from her subterranean but subaquatic area. So that's very good. Hooray and Hakiba. Okay. All right. Then you clearly, being in the Sven community, you found like-minded people and cultivated friendships and hang on, cultivated connections and, without intending to, political connections to the mayor. So right there's the watching the show, there's the attending the conventions. But something that we haven't really covered so much before is your experience, or the guest experience, with the community. So, could you give us some highlights of being a Svengoon, or some of your more pleasant memories of interacting with the other fans?
Oh, wow. Years ago, when I first started watching him when I was in high school, I only knew a handful of people that I don't run a show. I only knew really a handful of people that watched him. But now that he's nationwide, I have met so many wonderful people through him, and just being a fan, and it's just a wonderful thing to know that there's such a great Sven community out there. Bunch of 5. Yeah, we are 5.
A community of 5-year-olds.
Yes. But an adult, we all do.
Absolutely.
Considering I still play with Legos, I would say.
Oh, perfect. Let's cover the Legos. Oh, hang on. We got a Campbell. Let me get the Legos, and then we'll come into the Campbell question. All right. So tell us what are we looking at? We got some in the case, some on top of the case.
Yep, that's Sven Quad and Terry G. Bishop, and he's holding a little Durwood. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah. I also have, let me see if I can get this out too. This is Sven, Doug, and Anita, and there's a tiny little coffin with a tiny little Kerwin on top.
Oh my gosh! I'm going to say I think this qualifies you as a multimedia art generator. We're in the media of Legos. We're in cartooning. And again, the simple pleasures of life, just having fun, as Johnny B used to say. What a good way to go about it is having Sven related stuff. Sarah saying the Legos are the best. I agree. If only there were ways to connect everything. All right, so crazy. All right, so Nanette, do you have any closing thoughts for us? Again, I appreciate that people are sticking through the audio difficulties, but here we go to any closing commentary, Nanette, that you have.
Well, I want to show this. This is I don't know. It's kind of big. This is chicken. Where Rich wrote "Hey you" because back then they didn't have to personalize it. But then because that chicken is falling apart, I put it in this case and had him sign the case.
Oh, what a layered thing that is. That's definitely a highlight piece.
I love that piece. And one more thing I want to close with. Really, they need to make a Funko Svengoolie pop.
And is that your custom creation right there?
It's a custom creation, and I actually printed all this stuff out. But honestly, Funko, if you make one, I will buy two. Please. I don't know why they don't do that.
Like hotcakes. All right, Nanette, thanks so much for coming on. Again, if the United Center is the house that Michael Jordan built, then this Svengoolie series is built by Dave Fuentes, Terror Dave. Please do check out the Terror Dave blog. And thanks for coming around. I'm going to go ahead and close us out. Nanette, stay right put for a minute, please, and we'll talk for a little minute. Thanks, everybody who watched or who will watch in the future. Much appreciated. Be sure to tune in to Svengoolie tonight, and thanks for coming around.